Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Hope everyone's doing well. So for those of you who were following me earlier this week, yes, I made it home. Uh, and yes, I'm still recovering from whatever the hell I caught while I was on the road. So that's always fun. And I have an outdoor event for the company tomorrow. So I'm going to keep this video short so I can have some dinner and probably crash out. Um, By now, most of you have already seen the article where a group of scientists has basically recreated an extinct animal, the dire wolf. They apparently had the complete genome from a cadaver or body that was found in permafrost somewhere, and were able to recreate the wolf. I don't know if they used an actual gray wolf or husky or some other dog as the surrogate mom, or if it was grown in a bin. I don't know. I'm assuming there was another animal. That's usually how the cloning works. They'll replicate and they'll put it in a compatible species to be the mother. But they have two of them, two dire wolves. These animals went extinct about 10,000 years ago, and not necessarily due to man. The climate environment was constantly changing back then, and I think their main sources of food either migrated away or died. As a result, they ceased to exist. So we brought them back. Now, if you guys recall, about a month ago, I did a video on a woolly mouse where they took woolly mammoth DNA, put it in a mouse, and created a mouse with shaggy hair like a woolly mammoth, which was cute and funny. I mean, they look like little freaked out guinea pigs. I mean, they were really cute things. But the question is, just because science can do something does not mean they should. You look at COVID. COVID was a lot of arrogant scientists playing around with the disease, and they made it worse than it should have been. Now, I understand, yes, we need to understand diseases and DNA to solve things ranging from cancer to other illnesses. Personally, if we had a solution for cancer today, I don't think the big pharma companies would want to release it, because then you have no clients, right? That's just my take on some of the pharma companies. Not all of them, but a lot of them. That being said, bringing back extinct creatures, if there's not a specific benefit, like, oh, this creature's fur can, cure, I don't know, whatever disease, okay, maybe so. We keep playing with things that we shouldn't, and we keep playing God. And when science tries to overrule the natural order because of its own arrogance, it's dangerous for all of us. You look at the infamous Dr. Fauci, who, by the way, was the same doctor who gave the folks from the Dallas Buyers Club who were trying to get meds that would help HIV, and he gave them all sorts of difficulties for them trying to do that, is the same guy who was insisting we should take meds that had barely been tested for 8 months. Basically, it's a catch-22. Either it was a new med, it wasn't properly tested, and people got sick, or they had it in advance, in which case, how did you know you needed it in advance? And did you have something to do with the release? Regardless of what your thoughts are, when he said on TV, don't question the science is irrefutable, and all the talking heads and the parrots started saying the same thing, it pissed me off. As an engineer, as a guy who has degrees, advanced degrees in physics and engineering, I can tell you, you always want to question science. There's certain things that are irrefutable, right? Gravity will make you fall. If I jump off a table or I jump off a building, gravity's going to take me to the center of the earth. There's certain things that are not refutable, but science like this, new science, has to be tested and challenged. It has to be vetted. Some of the best learnings I've ever seen was someone said, I learned this, and they write a white paper. A year later, someone says, this first guy's wrong. This is what happened. And they start challenging each other. And these scientists, they don't fight the way, arguing. I mean, some of them do, but a lot of them are like, well, how did you come to this? Well, wait, I didn't see that. How did you see it? And now both of them are learning something. And then science advances in a positive way. When you have companies doing things with no clear goal, that worries me because of things like the Rona, because of things like MERS. Honestly, and maybe I'm just going down my rabbit hole this week, but we really need to be careful as a society of what we're doing. AI is another one. AI is just run amok. That could go sideways so fast, it's not even funny. So the question is, what do we do as preppers? Well, we pay attention. The most important thing to remember about preparedness, and again, you can read my book and all that fun stuff, but you think about it, at the end of the day, being prepared, 1, gives you supplies, 2, gives you options, 3, gives you a heads up. And those 3 things are very important. If there's going to be a dire wolf apocalypse or zombies, and I'm not prepped for zombies, I'm prepped for my 90% likely thing, say hurricanes. And I'm like, well, shit, now there's zombies. But if I've been paying attention and I know there might be zombies, you can get that little heads up. You can get that little bit of wiggle room to make a different decision. So if we take anything, by the way, the dire wolves are beautiful. And if I could take one home, I would absolutely take a wolf home. But that's besides the point. 1, always question the science, always. That's how science gets better. 2, and don't forget this one, the preparedness ideas are all about giving yourself time, maneuvering room, and options. When you have those assets, you have the ability to say, wow, I need to get this, and this will give me the option of bugging in, bugging out, or going to another place and joining forces with someone. Those are 3 valuable options in an emergency. People don't appreciate how tough it is to have options when you're in the midst of something. Good example, a relative of mine during the last hurricane in Houston, I told them, hey, you could get flooding, it's gonna be bad. I'm hearing off the record, it could be 50 inches of rain. They're like, no, the news said 10. I'm like, it's gonna be worse. They didn't believe me. I got a call, 3rd day of the storm, which just hung out and peed on Houston and everyone else. They're like, can you come get us? No, I can't. Well, why not? Because all the roads are flooded. Well, you have a 4x4 pickup truck. No, that doesn't matter. I can't see the roads. I can't see if the bridges are even there. I'm going to drive over a bayou or a stream or a river, and all I see is water. I don't know what's under me. I could wind up in. At the very least, I'll ruin my truck, and now I don't have an option of bugging out because I ruined it because you didn't leave yourself options. They didn't leave themselves options, so their option was to bug in, and they wound up getting some damage to the house. Fortunately, it wasn't that bad. But lesson learned here, they didn't prep for options. I did. I had the vehicles full of gas. I knew my geography. I knew my geology. I knew my area would be very unlikely to flood, but I'd get trapped. And I planned accordingly. And that's what this is all about. So anyway, that's it for tonight. If I was feeling better, I'd have done a live stream, but God, I feel awful. So anyway, God bless, Godspeed. I will see you all on the next video. And remember, prep for options. Be good.